Here are 20 big ol' writing tips for all you out there writing your very first musical, delivered to you in less than... Here we go. Number 1, find a story that captivates you. When you're in the thick of the process and things are getting tough and you want to give up because that's just easier, it's going to be your passion and your drive that pull you through, get you over that hump and back on track. Number 2, get the rights before you write your show. If you're adapting a story that has a rights holder of any variety, an author, an estate, a movie studio, make sure that you have your rights secured before you write the entire thing. You may want to create a pitch package that has a treatment and a few songs written, but before you do the big deep dive, get those rights secured. Otherwise, you're just wasting your time. Number 3, choose a story in the public domain. On the other side of this conversation, if you instead choose a story that is in the public domain, similar to creating an original story, then you don't have to worry about securing rights to it. Number 4, talk about your ideas. Many writers get very nervous about talking about their musical ideas because either they don't want someone to steal from them or they don't want to come off sounding ridiculous before they've even gotten started. However, one of the best ways to get your brain churning in the background about this story even before you touch it and write it is to talk to other people about it. Even if you're not getting reactions and feedback from them, this begins to let your brain process the idea as though you're already writing the musical, which gives you a boost of confidence. Number 5, outline. There are a bajillion ways to do an outline, and whatever way works best for you is great. So let me tell you, you will save yourself tons of time and a heartache in the writing process if you do an outline first. Number 6, know your world. Before you dive too deep into the writing process, take the time to know the world of your show. Where are we? When are we? With whom are we? What is their language like? And how does this world differ from the world that we currently live in? Number 7, know your musical world. Similarly, you need to know what the musical world sounds like. What kind of tonalities are we using? What kind of song structures and musical genres? Are there motifs and tonal relationships that we're going to utilize and bring back throughout the show? Number 8, flesh out your characters. Take time early in the process to write out all of the information you can think of about your characters, who they are, what their personalities are like, what makes them tick, what their big goals are. If it feels a little two-dimensional at first, that's okay. As long as you have good foundations there, your characters will flesh themselves out into their three-dimensional versions as you write. Number 9, get it all out there and let it be messy. First drafts are terrible. Always. We must just accept this fact and then lean in. When you're writing your first draft, or maybe even your first several drafts, just get the information out there as quickly as you possibly can, with as little judgment as you possibly can. You will come back around and you'll clean it all up later. Number 10, set a consistent writing schedule. Even if it's as little as half an hour once per week, having that little bit of consistency, that time set aside where it is dedicated directly to your writing, is going to get your brain trained on this idea that this task is important, and then it will be easier to expand that schedule outward. P.S. If you're getting value out of today's video, would you go ahead and give it a little like so that it can spread to more people like you? Thanks! Number 11, set a deadline. You want the thing written? Then set a deadline. Whatever seems appropriate to your life, plus a little challenge thrown in, that's the ticket. That's the one that's going to make it happen. Number 12, find accountability. Whether that's a writing group, or a mastermind, or an accountability group, or a family member, or a friend, or anybody else, have someone who you can share your progress with and who can hold you accountable to your goals. You will be far more likely to make your deadlines, I promise. Number 13, collaborate. Whether you're writing in a team or solo, you need collaborators to provide you with perspective, thoughts, and ideas. They will uplift everything you write. And if you are writing solo, find a director or a dramaturg or even a coach to collaborate with you throughout the process. This one is critical. Number 14, give yourself some grace. You will fail at certain tasks, and that is both normal and totally okay. Give yourself the grace to know that just because you missed a deadline or you didn't feel like writing today, you are still totally worthy of everything. Your value is not tied to your productivity. Number 15, do readings even before you think you're ready. Writers like to wait until they feel good about their writing to do a reading, but that actually denies you part of the process that's critical and may actually slow you down. Even when it feels kinda icky, get a reading on the schedule with some trusted folks so you can learn a ton about your show by hearing it read aloud. 16, find good feedback. Few things are as useful to a writer as good feedback, and likewise, few things are as detrimental to a writer as bad feedback. Find a feedback system that works well for you, and then use that system whenever you possibly can throughout your writing and developmental process. Number 17, don't compare yourself. The only person in writing I want you to compare yourself to is yesterday's you and yesterday's writing. If you set yourself up to compare yourself to other people's stories and journeys, or even to the dreams that you have about your own story and journey, then you're just setting yourself up to get trapped. Be kind to yourself and focus only on your progress. 18. Breathe. I find that writers forget to do this, especially when they are in flow states, but do me a favor and breathe. None of this is important enough to sacrifice your health. 19. Take breaks. When in a writing session, allow yourself a break to stretch, grab a snack, take a walk, etc. every 25 to 50 minutes. Your body and your energy will thank you. And on the macro level, if you need to take a week off from thinking about your show for mental health purposes, do it. That's great. Strongly encouraged. It'll be there when you get back. And number 20, know your North Star. There are 6 crucial question sets that you need to have answered before you begin your writing process that you're then going to return to throughout your writing and developmental process as the show continues on its journey. I call these question sets your North Star because they really will end up guiding you along the way. They hit upon things like the message of the show, the takeaways for the audience, why you're writing it, who you're writing it for. These are all extremely important things to know. And if you want to know more about the North Star questions, then you can watch this video next. Otherwise, thank you all for being here with me today, and I'll see you again soon. Cheers!